Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode, another video. I'm the Kryptonic Taino, and here's another video covering GME on Solana. Can't stop, won't stop. Excited about this one, y'all. If you've been joining and watching, I got something for y'all today. We're going to talk about my favorite meme coin right now, my favorite meme coin community, GME on Solana. And I want to cover something very, very important. I'm going to get to it in a bit. Today, I'm going to talk to you about which GME coin or token on the blockchain should you consider purchasing. So if you're getting into meme coins, you're getting into and you're part of the GameStop movement in your learning journey about the GameStop movement, and you're part of the meme coin community, you're looking to add meme coins to your portfolio, which one's the next coin that I'm going to add? Um, and then you come across the GME movement. This video is designed to help you understand how GME on Solana stands out from all the rest of the GME narrative tokens that are available. There are many GME narrative tokens, like derivative tokens that you can choose from and that are out there. But I'm just going to focus on the three primary tokens related to this narrative, which is GME on Solana, GME on Ethereum, and there's even GME on Base. Same token, token name, token ticker, in terms of like if you just put GME, what's gonna pop, and it could be confusing sometimes when you're out there token shopping and you type in a ticker name and you see many different options to choose from. This is going to help you give a little bit more, develop a greater understanding of why GME on Solana should be your GME token in your portfolio. I'm going to break it down. This is probably going to be maybe a two-part series, maybe a three-part series. I have to break this up because as I was doing my research, it was just too much to dig into in one video. I got family, I got a life, I'm a father, I'm a husband. I love doing those things. Very involved in the marketplace. I got a job, very involved in my community, and just finding the time is very difficult. So I got to keep these things short so I could just drop the videos in a way that allows me to release the content. So I'm not going to cover a lot on many different categories of comparison here, but I'm going to break it up over different videos as I go on. Okay, so before I start, I just want to say it right now. Um, no matter which token you decide to go with, um, all three tokens contribute to amplifying the movement. All right. Um, this is not intended to be adversarial. This is not intended to be, um, you know, uh, throw anybody like under the bus. This is meant for education purposes. Um, Now, to reflect my opinion, my preference, and to present a thesis, a rationale behind it, you do with the information as you want. You have the full autonomy to do so. Just let's just call it out right up front is, there are different layer ones that these tokens are built on. If you prefer the Solana network, GME on Solana will probably be a very easy choice. If you're an Ethereum network person, it's going to be the Ethereum token. And if you're like, oh, I'm all about Base, then GME on Base is there. If it's just all about which layer ones are hosting the token. I'm going to go beyond that, and we're going to start going into KPIs, key performance indicators, and kind of see how they stack up against each other. I want to give a shout out. This is a quick digital art piece by Sir Quackenberg on X. You could see this is the latest digital art that caught my eye. Just shout out to the community, always producing awesome digital art. Apes strong together. Can't stop, won't stop. The red headband stays on. So let's do a quick update. As always, I like to start with an update on my portfolio. I have a meme portfolio, and last week I made some changes, y'all. I used to have 6 coins, 6 tokens in my meme folio, and now I only have 4, so I consolidated. I sold off my AI cycle token, which was my ultra low cap, and then I swapped that into my GME bag. And then I sold off my AI16Z token and swapped it into my SPX bag. So you can see here, SPX is pretty full now in terms of portfolio value at 41%. And then GME on Solana at 26%. Then Turbo at 25, Giga at 7. And so I have a very balanced, you see that distribution across my portfolio. Probably folks are asking, well, if GME is your favorite token, why is SPX 6900 loaded? Well, SPX 6900 has been going through a rip, and has significantly increased in value in my portfolio, which is also causing that distribution. And then also GME on Solana is the last token I started adding, and building the bag. So I got to the other bags first before I got to GME and started building that through dollar cost averaging. So you could see that's also why SPX also, and Turbo are pretty big on the bags. But that's a breakdown and why I decided to consolidate. The AI cycle community just was not really engaged the way I needed to, and see things to give me more confidence about it. And then AI16Z had some issues on X. Their account was taken down, and I kind of lost a little sense of conviction about their ability to kind of promote the coin, and that meme coin culture. Even though it's an AI agent, it's kind of a meme too. Just didn't feel comfortable, and I just decided to consolidate. So that's that. Um, Here's a pie graph that I wanted to show you about how my portfolio, my GME portfolio looks in terms of the GME stock and my coin portfolio value for GME the coin. You see, one thing I love about the GME Solana community is that we're very explicit about our commitment to both, right? We like the stock and we like the coin. So I started out with the coin, and then I started buying the stock to support the movement. And as I started learning and developing my understanding, I wanted to support the cause. So you could see that 60% of the GME portfolio is in the coin, and then another 40% is in the stock. And I think that's really going to be my distribution across as I progress and continue to fill the bags, because I'm a crypto guy. I'm not a stock guy, right? And so I always feel like I'll probably be more invested in the coin than I will be in the stock. Maybe it gets to 50-50, but it all depends. So, but I just want to be transparent and kind of show y'all how I'm invested into the narrative, into the movement. So let's go. Let's go right into it. GME on Solana, GME on ETH, GME on Base. All right. So I wanted to show y'all something before this. There are going to be 3 categories, more or less 3 areas that we're going to look at when we're comparing these 3. The first one is holders to market cap ratio. We're going to look at X accounts, X account followers to engagement. We're going to look at that. And then we're going to look at pairings, like pairing age, number of pairings, and all-time highs. These are the first three categories we're going to look at for this episode. Next episode, I'm going to drop more categories and we're going to keep dropping it. All right. And we're going to keep breaking it down until I feel good about the analysis that I've provided y'all. So here's a quick breakdown of holders to market cap ratio. Now, I wanted to give some rationales to why this is important. Okay. So this I pulled off in collaboration with my friend ChatGPT, but this is why looking at the number of holders to market cap ratio is important for these three tokens, right? So first, community distribution. A higher holder to market cap ratio usually indicates broader decentralization, fewer whales, more grassroots holders, and that's a good sign in meme tokens. Resistance to manipulation. More holders, harder for one or two wallets to crash the price. So prevents rug pulls or whale dumps. Organic growth signal. A high ratio suggests the project's value is driven by many real people, not artificial hype or insider holdings. Retail appeal. It shows how many people are backing the project at the current valuation. A key metric for meme momentum and virality. And then comparative value. When comparing two tokens, this ratio reveals whether one is overpriced or over centralized for its holder base. So quick, I just wanted to run that. And here's the breakdown, y'all. GameStop on Solana, GME on Solana, 49,000 holders, $10.3 million market cap, and the ratio from holder to market cap is $210 for every one holder. GME on ETH, 11,000 holders, $19.9 million market cap, ratio $1,809 for every one holder. And then GameStop on base, 164,000 holders, 356,000 market cap, and a ratio of $2.17 for every one holder. So take a look at this, right? And the narrative or like these numbers start telling us a story. So what I did is I showed this to ChatGPT and I asked ChatGPT to make conclusions and evaluation based on the number of holders to market cap ratio, which is the strongest token, and to do a comparison and to call out any conclusions that should be notable. And I want to show y'all what ChatGPT put together. So in comparing the three, ChatGPT identified Solana as being the strongest in this category and says the strong grassroots distribution, decentralized, and organic holder base. Look at that, 49,000 holders, more holders on GME on Solana than GME on ETH. But look at that distribution, $200 per token. That feels like it's retail. That feels normal. When you think that feels healthy, when you think about retail investors and movement-based tokens and their exposure in the marketplace, right? But then look at this, what ChatGPT put for GME on ETH. With that $1,809 for every one holder, there's a little asterisk there for risk. Heavily concentrated wealth, extremely low distribution, possible manipulation. So this is the interesting thing when you're looking at GME on ETH. They have only 11,000 holders. Their market cap is almost 20 million. And then when you look across that distribution, many holders hold a lot, a very high number. That ratio is very, very high, but it sets off just some questions. I took a look and their top 1,000 holders have over $1,000 in it, which is pretty weird when it comes to a token of this size. The numbers, something's not adding up there, and I haven't quite digged into it even further, going down the rabbit hole, but something's not good there. It feels like this could be whale heavy on the GME ETH side, which if you go to this piece here, a higher holders to market cap ratio usually indicates broader decentralization, fewer whales, more grassroots holders. That's a good sign. Where's the part? There was one. Oh, more holders equal harder for one or two wallets to crash the price, prevents rug pulls or whale dumps. And just something, just kind of when I look at that, GME ETH looks pretty vulnerable to a whale dump possibly. But the distribution seems most solid on GME on Solana, just based on that. And then GME on base, massive community reach, right? Like look at the holders, 164,000 holders with a 356K market cap, but only $2.17 to every one holder. That just also just kind of runs a couple of like red flags. Massive community reach supposedly, but low value per holder may indicate airdrop farming or lack of meaningful investment per wallet. Like yeah, GME on base, like it's it is it is it's very low market cap. It is not really picking up, and 164,000 holders doesn't even sound right. Like $2.17 per holder. That's not. I don't even think those are real people that are holding the token. All right. So now let's go to social media presence. Let's focus on X account followers to engagement. This is the next category. So GME on Solana, they have 4,914 followers, but this is very important to note that they used to have over 20,000 followers back in the fall of 2024, but I believe their account got hacked and they had to shut down their X account, open up a whole brand new one heading towards into November, December, and build the followers all over again. And that was devastating, but the crew survived the hack. And so that's kind of like a bummer. In reality, if the account was never really hacked, they probably would have been maybe at 25,000 followers by now. Their average likes, and here's what I took the last 5 account posts, X account posts from each. All right, their last 5 legitimate posts that were not reposts, and I took the average likes for each of those posts. GME on Solana had 215 likes as average. And then I looked at their last space viewers. If the accounts hold X spaces, GME on Solana's last X spaces viewership, they had 7,900 people tune in. GME on ETH, strong follower base, 18,100 followers, but look at their average likes, only 112 average likes when compared to GME on Solana. And then look at their space viewership, 713 people tuned into their last X Spaces communication, but you got 18,000 followers supposedly, but only 700 tuned in across space. Like something's also off, like something's off there where you're seeing that high follower but very low engagement on GME on ETH when you look compared to GME on Solana, right? And then now let's look at GME on base, 3,900 followers, average likes 116. They're not doing their space any spaces at all, and you could see they're having pretty strong engagement compared to ETH when it comes to likes, even though they have much less followers. So as you look at the numbers, they start telling a story and start screaming out to you. Something's going on. Like there's something about the GME and ETH community that GME on Ethereum where they should be having higher engagement on their X accounts if those 18,000 followers are organic 18,000 followers. So it's something to think about when you look at the others, Solana and Base. But I threw this up on ChatGPT, gave it the numbers, and without bias said, hey, run an analysis, make conclusions, and rank these. And this is the verdict for ChatGPT, okay? GME on Solana, strongest engagement per follower. The community seems to be real, activated, and vocal. Dominant in real-time spaces. That's related to the X spaces. GME on base, decent engagement for its size, but no depth in live presence. Early stage, low energy community based on that. So GME on base is coming in second. And then GME Ethereum, inflated vanity metrics. High follower count doesn't translate into real support or turnout. Likely manipulation or disinterest. It's funny because every time I enter these numbers, GME on Ethereum is getting flagged for just suspicious. Uh, it's like, hey, these numbers don't add up. It's just not adding up, and there's some questions to be asked about that. Finally, here's the last category, y'all. Pairing age, all-time high market cap, and number of pairings. So let's go into pairing age. GME on Solana is the OG. I'm going to say it again. GME on Solana is the OG. Pairing age, 16 months. Okay, 16 months. GME on Solana was out first in all of these. Okay, they were the first. All-time highs, 153 million. And number of pairings, 52. They have partnerships with multiple exchanges. GME on ETH, 12 months. All-time high, higher, 167 million. Number of pairings, only one. Okay. GME on base, 14 months, actually older than ETH. ETH is the youngest of the bunch. All-time high, 6 million. Number of pairings, only one. So here you see, let's just get to it right now. The OG, the originator of transitioning and moving GME, the GME movement, and bringing the GME movement to the blockchain is GME on Solana. Okay, let's just get that straight. Okay, Randy's numbers, shared it with ChatGPT, and here is the verdict for that. GME on Solana is the most robust infrastructure. There's partnerships in place, multiple exchanges, okay, with 50 different pairings, gives people multiple access points and strong historical peak built to scale that's related to the all-time high. GME on ETH, high all-time high shows interest, but poor decentralization and exchange reach may make it fragile. Only one pairing. And then GME on base, low all-time high, higher risk because you're dealing with a low market cap. And one pairing after 14 months makes it feel as if perhaps it's unproven, underintegrated, and weak. I know it's base. Perhaps they're kind of keeping it. I don't know what they're doing, but hey, GME on Solana. I want to kind of show the breakdown of this one a little bit more about what key insights were found by ChatGPT, right? When it comes to like breaking down these numbers. So I'm just going to read it out. GME on Solana has the strongest infrastructure footprint. 52 pairings indicates wide decentralized and centralized exchange integration and accessibility, enhancing user entry points and volume potential. Near top all-time high at 153 million shows previous retail institutional trust. Longest lifespan, 16 months, adds historical resilience and maturity. Conclusion, well distributed, seasoned, and structurally sound. Infrastructure allows for scalability and recovery potential. GME and Solana has the strongest infrastructure of the three main GME tokens on the blockchain. Clear. GME on ETH, though it has the highest all-time high, only one pairing, which raises questions. Was price inflated by limited liquidity access or a small number of early whales? Question mark. Without distribution across exchanges, reliance on one pair poses major centralization risk, and pairing age of 12 months makes it slightly less seasoned compared to the other tokens, GME on Solana. Conclusion, impressive all-time high, but weak infrastructure and decentralization. Strong, but risky. Okay, strong, but risky, a weaker infrastructure. And then GME on base, right? Lowest all-time high, only one pair, indicates low demand, poor exchange support, or failure to attract liquidity. Conclusion, weakest performer on all metrics. All right, and then that's the final verdict. So there y'all have it. This is the first part of my video comparing the three. I think it's pretty obvious right now, y'all. It's pretty obvious right now that GME on Solana is standing out as we move through some of these key performance indicators. I'm gonna be digging into more. There's more I could go, but look, I'm already 25 minutes just talking about three categories that I was analyzing, being long-winded, and I'm not gonna make an hour video, right? So this may not be the most exciting video because we're digging into statistics and everything. And last one was all about vibe and energy, and this one's more about data, right? But I promise to bring more. This is also more for me too than it is also for y'all, because as I go about this process of analysis, I'm learning a lot more about what it takes to identify strong meme coin communities as I continue to invest. Um, as we enter into this meme super cycle, as we also get ready for the MOAS, the mother of all short squeezes is GME. The stock continues to rise and the movement grows and its impact in the blockchain. I want to get as prepared as I can on the blockchain side, and this is very helpful. GME on Solana is the token that I'm invested in. Go ahead, check it out on X. Um, Follow the group, learn about the group, and hey, if you're convinced, buy the token. Get on board. All right, peace.